30 Malaysians rescued from online scam syndicate in Cambodia. Netanyahu says Israel to begin immediate negotiations on Gaza ceasefire. Good afternoon and salam Malaysia Madani. I'm Sahih and you're watching World Today. 2 Royal Malaysian Air Force RMAF pilots involved in the FA-18D Hornet aircraft accident at the Kuantan Air Base last night are safe and currently receiving treatment at Tengku Ampuan Afzan Hospital HTAA Kuantan. They were taken to the Emergency and Trauma Department of HTAA via a Malaysian Armed Forces MAF ambulance for further treatment. Pahang Police Chief Datuk Sri Yahya Osman confirmed the Air Force pilot and co-pilot were safe, noting that the incident occurred during takeoff from the runway. A video recording shared by the public on social media showed that the aircraft's engine caught fire during takeoff. A Royal Malaysian Air Force RMAF F-18AD Hornet was involved in an accident on the runway of Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Airport, RMAF Kuantan Air Base at 9:05 p.m. last night. In a statement, the RMAF said immediate action is being taken and further updates on the incident will be announced in due course. The RMAF currently operates 8 twin-engine FA-18D Hornet multi-role combat aircraft (MRCA), which were purchased from McDonnell Douglas, now Boeing, and delivered in 1997. The Malaysian Embassy in Phnom Penh, with help from Cambodian immigration authorities, has rescued 30 Malaysians involved in an online scam in the kingdom. The embassy said the Malaysians were repatriated by Phnom Penh International Airport on Thursday after clearance by local immigration authorities with the support of Sihanoukville immigration officials. The Malaysian Embassy in Phnom Penh has been actively cooperating with Cambodian authorities to assist individuals trapped in these illegal cyber scam activities. No further details were released regarding the victims or their arrest. Since July, Cambodia has intensified its crackdown on online scam operations in the country, with more than 3,000 suspects from various countries having been deported. Many of these individuals has been misled by agencies. They were promised jobs in Cambodia with attractive salary packages, but ended up working in scam centers under deplorable conditions. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Thursday that he will begin immediate negotiations for the release of all hostages held in Gaza and an end to the nearly 2-year-old war on terms acceptable to Israel. Speaking to soldiers serving in Gaza, Netanyahu said he was meeting commanders to approve plans for capturing Gaza City and defeating Hamas. The Israeli military maintained its pressure on Gaza City into Thursday. On Wednesday, the military called up 60,000 reservists in a sign that the government was pressing ahead with the plan despite international condemnation. Calling up tens of thousands of reservists is likely to take weeks, giving time for mediators to attempt to bridge gaps over a new temporary ceasefire proposal that Hamas has accepted, but the Israeli government has yet to officially respond to. The proposal calls for a 60-day ceasefire and the release of 10 living hostages being held in Gaza by Hamas and of 18 bodies. In turn, Israel would release about 200 long-serving Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. The Israeli government has stated that all the remaining 50 hostages held by militants in Gaza must be released at once. Israeli officials believe that around 20 of them are still alive. The head of the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency on Thursday voiced concern that children suffering from malnutrition in Gaza will die if emergency provisions are not immediately put in place during Israel's Gaza City military operation. UNRWA Commissioner General Filipe Lazzarini said that its data showed a 6-fold increase in the number of children suffering from malnutrition in Gaza City since March.
Donc on a une population qui est extrêmement affaiblie, qui va être confrontée à une nouvelle opération militaire majeure. On pensait qu'on avait déjà tout décrit de Gaza, on avait décrit l'enfer sur terre à Gaza, mais effectivement, si ce scénario devait se mettre en place, même si on parle de l'évacuation des gens de Gaza au sud, beaucoup n'auront même plus la force de pouvoir se déplacer.
In May, a global hunger monitor said that 500,000 people in the Gaza Strip face starvation, but stopped short of using the term famine. Israel's military agency that coordinates aid, COGAT, has previously said it invests considerable efforts to ensure aid reaches Gaza and has denied restricting supplies. Members of the Media Freedom Coalition called on Israel on Thursday to provide independent foreign journalists immediate access to Gaza. In a joint statement, 26 countries, including Australia, Germany, Japan, the UK and several EU member states, urged Israel to allow immediate independent foreign media access and afford protection to journalists operating in Gaza. The coalition stressed that reporters play an important role in documenting wartime conditions. The group also condemned violence against journalists, pointing out that the extremely high number of fatalities, arrests and detentions since the war began. The coalition urged Israeli authorities and all other parties to ensure that local and foreign journalists in Gaza, Israel, the West Bank and East Jerusalem can work freely and safely. It further demanded investigations into attacks on journalists and accountability for those responsible in compliance with national and international law. Beyond press freedom, the statement reiterated calls for an immediate ceasefire, unconditional release of remaining hostages, and unrestricted humanitarian access to Gaza. It also reiterated its support for a two-state solution to ensure long-term peace and security. Peru's Congress voted on Thursday to declare Colombian President Gustavo Petro persona non grata amid a territorial dispute over an Amazon island. The measure passed with 50 votes in favour, 0 against and 17 abstentions during a legislative session. Persona non grata means that their visit to the country is practically impossible, that they will not be received at the international airport and that they will face some kind of restriction. The diplomatic rebuke stems from disagreements over Santa Rosa Island, located in a triple border area near the cities of Leticia, Colombia and Tabitinga, Brazil, on the banks of the Amazon River. The island emerged years ago due to lowering water levels in the river that divides the Peru-Colombia border. Colombia's Petro has stated that Peru inappropriately claimed the island and argued that its sovereignty should be determined through bilateral agreement between the two countries. According to the Peruvian Foreign Ministry, the border is based on the 1922 Treaty of Limits and River Navigation. Suspended Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra attended a constitutional court hearing on Thursday in case seeking her dismissal over alleged ethics violations. The hearing began at 10:30 a.m. local time, with Paetongtarn appearing in court as the defendant and Secretary General of the National Security Council, Chai Beng-chwat, present for the witness examination. The complaint against the Prime Minister, who is currently suspended from duty, alleges a violation of ethics over her late phone call in June with Cambodia's former leader Hun Sen at a time when the two countries were at the brink of an armed conflict. She has apologized and said she was seeking to find a peaceful resolution. The Constitutional Court will give its decision on August 29 in the case seeking Paetongtarn's removal. Separately, a court will on Friday rule if Paetongtarn's father, Thaksin Shinawatra, during a 2015 media interview insulted the powerful monarchy, a serious crime in Thailand which carries lengthy jail terms of up to 15 years for each offence. Last week, the court decided to summon 2 additional witnesses for Thursday's hearing and set a date to hand down its verdict on 29th August. A criminal court in Thailand will on Friday deliver a verdict in a high-profile case of royal insult involving influential former Premier Thaksin Shinawatra, the first in a series of upcoming rulings involving the powerful Shinawatra dynasty. Despite officially being retired, divisive billionaire Thaksin remains a major force in Thai politics and is accused of the serious offence of lèse-majesté over a 2015 media interview he gave during his long stint in self-imposed exile. The offence is punishable by up to 15 years in prison if found guilty. Thaksin denies wrongdoing and has repeatedly pledged allegiance to the king, with the palace seen by royalists as sacrosanct. The case stems from a complaint by the royalist military that ousted both Thaksin and sister Yingluck Shinawatra from power in coup in 2006 and 2014 respectively. Thaksin is the highest profile case among the more than 280 prosecutions in recent years under the controversial law, which activists say has been abused by conservatives to silence dissents and sidelines political rivals. Royalists say the law is necessary to protect the crown. Both the prosecutor and Thaksin can appeal Friday's verdict. Taiwan Premier Chung Jung-tai announced on Thursday Taiwan plans to boost defense spending by a fifth next year, surpassing 3% of gross domestic product. The proposed defense spending for the fiscal year 2026, factoring in expenditures for veteran affairs and the Coast Guard, will reach $31.18 billion, representing 3.32% of GDP.
国防经费今年我们所编列的明年度的预算，公共预算部分有5614亿，但若加计特别预算跟非营业特种基金，我们整个的国防预算也仿照北约的计算模式标准，那边辅导会退役军人的相关支出跟海巡署的预算等等，国防预算总计达到9495亿元。
The island is planning to invest billions in new equipment to better face down China and convince the United States it takes seriously calls to bolster its military. The move comes as China, which views democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory, has ramped up military and political pressure over the past 5 years to assert its claims, which Taipei strongly rejects. Taiwan's government has made military modernization a key policy platform and has repeatedly pledged to spend more on its defenses given the rising threat from China, including developing made-in-Taiwan submarines. Up next, 5 people killed and dozens others injured in truck explosion. Stay tuned.
Tahukah anda berapa banyak air kita gunakan dalam sehari? Dalam sehari, kita gunakan air lebih banyak berbanding negara-negara di Asia Tenggara. Mandi, memasak dan membasuh merupakan penyumbang terbesar kepada penggunaan air. Kelestarian sumber air bermula dari kita. Gunakan produk cekap air. Kelangsungan bekalan air generasi akan datang bermula dengan kita.
Tutup tingkap dan pintu untuk kekal dingin dan lebih jimat.
Authorities in Kenya have recovered 5 bodies from shallow graves in Kwa Binzaro village, located on the outskirts of Malindi in Kilifi County. The site lies just a few kilometers from Shakahola Forest, where more than 400 people linked to a doomsday cult were found dead in the year 2023. Officials say the area under investigation is vast and that more graves are likely to be discovered in the coming days. In July, Kenya's Office of the Director of Public Prosecution said it believed that victims buried at the site may have been starved and suffocated as a result of adopting and promoting extreme religious ideologies. At least 11 suspects are being investigated in connection with the death. People who live around the exhumation site had been unable to account for the whereabouts of several children, thus leading to a suspicion of foul play and triggering investigations. More than 400 bodies were exhumed from the nearby Shakahola Forest in 2023 in one of the world's biggest cult-related disasters in recent history. Colombian authorities said 5 people were killed and dozens more injured when a truck bomb tore through a busy street in the city of Cali on Thursday, deepening the country's most serious security crisis in decades. Police said the explosion targeted a military aviation school in the city's north, a fresh challenge to Colombia's fragile peace process ahead of 2026 elections. Cali Mayor Alejandro Eder said preliminary reports were that at least 5 people were killed and 36 people injured. Fearing further explosions, he announced a temporary ban on large trucks entering the city and a $10,000 reward for information. Several buildings and local schools were evacuated. It was not immediately clear who was responsible for the blast, but Eder blamed it on narco-terrorists. Many of Colombia's armed groups, once based on leftist or right-wing ideologies, are now de facto drug cartels funding themselves through the lucrative cocaine trade. Cali is Colombia's third largest city, home to more than 2 million people, famed for its vibrant salsa-infused nightlife and cartel-tainted past. Homicides in Ecuador rose 40% in the first 7 months of this year compared to the same period in 2024. With 5,268 homicides, it was the most violent 7-month period registered during the last decade and an increase from 3,753 homicides registered between January and July last year. Data published earlier by the Ecuadorian Observatory of Organized Crime, OECO, revealed the first half of 2025 saw a 47% rise in intentional homicides compared to the same period in 2024, with 4,619 intentional homicides. The report comes more than a year after President Daniel Noboa declared an internal armed conflict and designated criminal organizations as terrorist group to quell the insecurity crisis. In January 2024, Noboa designated 22 criminal gangs as terrorist organizations, including the Tiburones. Since then, he has deployed the army to the streets in a bid to curb violence while pushing measures against drug trafficking. At the beginning of August, Noboa declared a state of emergency in 4 regions, including Guayas province, after reporting an escalation of violence. The latest episode of widespread violence took place on Sunday when 7 people were killed in a shooting in a billiard hall in northern Ecuador, the third massacre of this kind this month, according to media reports. An explosion at a fireworks warehouse in Karachi injured at least 34 people on Thursday, causing panic among residents. The warehouse and some nearby shops caught fire after the blast, which was followed by several smaller explosions, forcing residents to flee for safety on a busy street of the port city. Smoke billowed from a multi-story building as firefighters worked to put out the blaze. Local news channels showed there was no indication as to what caused the blast. The impact of the blast was strong enough to shatter glass in neighbouring shops, peppering people in the street with shards of glass. At least 34 injured people were admitted to hospitals, while 4 of them were in critical condition.
ये एमेजेना रोड है। ये फायरवर्क्स की एक शॉप थी जिसके अंदर एक धमाका और उसके बाद आग लगी। इसमें अब तक जो है 25 से ज़ायद अफराद जख्मी हुए, जिन्हें जिना और सिविल हॉस्पिटल मुंतकिल किया गया है। मजीद इमदादी सरगर्मियाँ जारी हैं, चेक किया जा रहा है।
Heavy rain in Gujarat caused severe flooding on Thursday, with some farmland in the district of Port Bandar completely submerged during the region's monsoon season. Massive sudden downpours of rain, known as cloudbursts, has struck India during this monsoon season, killing hundreds of people in the flash floods and landslides they have triggered. Weather studies say cloudbursts typically occur in South Asia when warm monsoon winds laden with moisture meet the cold mountain air in the north of India and Pakistan, causing condensation. With the warming planet, the monsoon has hotter air, which can carry more moisture. There have also been heavy monsoon rains in other parts of the country. According to the local weather department, Mumbai, India's financial capital, was drenched with as much as 875.1 mm of rain in the 5 days leading up to Wednesday. The National Weather Service issued an extreme heat warning for Los Angeles and surrounding areas as of Thursday. Temperatures are expected to hit 36, with some areas surpassing 38 degrees Celsius. The city of Los Angeles is advising people to stay cool by staying hydrated and limiting exposure to direct sunlight from 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. The city also has cooling centers set up at parks and recreation areas, as well as local libraries. The Los Angeles Fire Department said it will be monitoring the temperatures and has pre-deployed resources to high-hazard areas ahead of any fire risk. Some of those measures include water tankers, a strike team, additional dispatches, and a water-dropping helicopter. The Los Angeles County Fire Department is taking similar precautions, meeting each morning to brief on conditions before strike teams deploy each day. The National Weather Service's extreme heat warning for Los Angeles is expected to last through at least till Saturday. In sports, Roos helps LA Galaxy continue Leagues Cup run. Stay tuned.
Liga Super Malaysia 2025. Satu lagi pertembungan kini menanti dengan The Cops kali ini bakal menggempur kubu pertahanan skuad Hang Tuah yang pantang menyerah. Sabtu 23 Ogos, PDRM FC bertemu Melaka FC 8.15 malam di saluran OK dan Sukan RTM. Saksikan juga secara penstreaman langsung di RTM Play.
Kicking off our sports segment, Marco Reus scored one goal and helped create another as Los Angeles Galaxy continued its unexpected tournament run at the Leagues Cup against Pachuca on Wednesday. Both Los Angeles goals came before halftime. In the 27th minute, Reus cross following a corner kick pressured Pachuca Alonso Achives into a lunge that resulted in an own goal. In the 37th minute, Reus finished off a counter-attack from the penalty spot after reaching Matius Nascimento's deflected pass. Novak Mitrovic made 5 saves for the reigning MLS Cup champions, including an excellent denial of Alameo's volley in the 78th minute. That proved vital when Alimo scored a late consolation tally on an acrobatic volley in second half stoppage time. Berita Eze has been left out of Crystal Palace squad for their debut on the European stage on Thursday amid reports of an imminent transfer to London rivals Arsenal. Oliver Glasner's side are hosting Norway's Fredrikstad FK in the first leg of a UEFA Conference League playoff, with the German coach previously saying at a press conference on Wednesday that Eze would start for the Eagles. The 27-year-old England international scored the winner against Manchester City in the FA Cup final back in May to book Palace's first foray into Europe. The South Londoners' inaugural continental campaign has since been somewhat overshadowed, however, after UEFA demoted them from the Europa League to the Conference League because of a breach of multi-club ownership rules. Eze had been heavily linked with a move to Tottenham Hotspur, but media reports that emerged on Wednesday suggested Arsenal had hijacked the transfer from under the nose of their North London rivals. A member of Arsenal's youth academy before being released aged 13, Eze is reported to have opted for a return to his boyhood club after Palace accepted a €67.5 million bid from the Gunners. Bayer Leverkusen have signed France central defender Loic Bade from Sevilla on a 5-year contract. Leverkusen, who kick off their Bundesliga season against Hoffenheim on Saturday, have seen more than half a dozen players leave in the off-season, including central defender Jonathan Tah, Florian Wirtz and playmaker Granit Xhaka. They had won the domestic league and cup double in 2004. In a statement, Bayer confirmed the signing of Loic Bade for his experience as central defender, as he is used to playing against absolutely world-class strikers in La Liga in Spain. It added that Loic is physically uncompromising and can read the game, an absolute addition to strengthening their defence. The 25-year-old France international started his career at Le Havre and also had a short loan spell at Nottingham Forest before spending 2.5 seasons in Spain with Sevilla, with whom he won the Europa League in 2023. In other transfer news, Jules Koundé said on Thursday his dream is to win as much silverware as possible with Barcelona after signing a contract extension with the Spanish champions until the year 2030.
Orgulloso, muy orgulloso de extender mi contrato con el Barcelona. La verdad que ha sido muy fácil porque creo que el club como yo lo teníamos claro. Yo estoy muy a gusto aquí con el equipo, con el club, con la ciudad. En el momento mi sueño ha sido ganar títulos. Es lo que me motiva cada día. Y entonces espero ganar lo más títulos posible.
The French defender joined Barca from Sevilla in the 2022-23 season and has since established himself as a starting right back, racking up 142 appearances in just 3 seasons. He scored a late screamer in the year's Copa del Rey final to beat rivals Real Madrid 3-2. During a ceremony at Barcelona's facilities, Koundé held a jersey with his name and the year 2030 to show the date of the end of his new contract.
76 minit tanpa henti.
76 minutes non-stop. Transparent and concise.
Paparan komprehensif, ringkas dan padat. Saksikan Kanta 744, 7.44 malam. Berita perdana 8 malam.
Malaysia tonight, 8:30 p.m.
And that's it from us this afternoon in our top story. 30 Malaysians rescued from online scam syndicate in Cambodia. Do join us again tonight at 8:30 p.m. on TV1 and saluran Berita RTM for more. Or you can stream us live on RTM Clicks website and mobile app. Till then, I'm Sahih Madani, Rakyat, Disantuni. Goodbye and thank you for watching.